All the elements known so far can be broadly classified into two categories, metals and non-metals. We will see that with the help of periodic table. In the periodic table, we know all known 118 elements have been arranged according to their properties. Now let's see this green colored part which looks like a staircase. On the left side of this green part, all these are metals, while on its right side, this yellow colored part, all these are non-metals. Now we can easily see that about 80% of the elements are metals, while non-metals are very few. So out of 118, just 22 elements are non-metals. And this green part, these elements show some properties of metals and some properties of non-metals. So they are called as metalloids. Now let's see the names of few metalloids. Boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium. These are all metalloids which possess the properties of metals as well as non-metals. Now the question arises, why should we study about metals and non-metals? Now these metals and non-metals have become an inseparable part of our daily lives, and survival without them just seems impossible. So let's see a few of their uses. Metals like aluminium, copper, silver, they are used for making utensils and other kitchenware. Iron is used for making bridges and some machine parts. Copper and brass are used for making coins and some other things like statues, etc. Silver and gold are used for making jewelry, and there are many more uses for metals. Similarly, non-metals like carbon and hydrogen, they are an essential part of every food that we eat. So whether they are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, all of them contain carbon and hydrogen. Nitrogen is an important constituent of our genetic material like DNA, and nitrogen is also used for making fertilizers essential for the growth of the plants. Sulfur is an important fungicide and used for making gunpowder also, and oxygen we know is our lifeline. No plant or animal can survive without oxygen because it is used for respiration and production of energy. Oxygen is also used for combustion. So these reasons are sufficient enough to understand that we need to study about the properties of metals and non-metals so that we can use them in a better manner. We will start with the physical properties first. Physical properties include all those properties which we can perceive with the help of our five senses, just like we can hear or see or smell. So all these things come under physical properties. We will be studying all these physical properties for metals as well as non-metals. Let's see a few terms first of all. Lustre means shiny appearance. Malleability is the property of an element in which it can be beaten into thin sheets. Ductility, it is the property of an element in which it can be drawn into thin wires. And sonorosity, it is the property of an element in which if it is hit with a hard object, it produces sound. So let's see all the properties for metals and non-metals. First is luster. All metals have a shiny surface or shiny appearance. That means they possess luster. Non-metals do not possess luster, but there is one exception, iodine, which has a shiny surface. All metals are hard except lithium, sodium, potassium, which are so soft that we can easily cut them with a knife. Non-metals are soft. Again, there is one exception. Diamond is the hardest known element. Next property is malleability. All metals are malleable while non-metals are non-malleable. Metals are ductile, non-metals are non-ductile. All metals are good conductors of heat as well as electricity, while non-metals are bad conductor of heat and electricity. There are two exceptions. Diamond and graphite, they are good conductors of electricity. Metals have high melting and boiling points. Mercury is a liquid, but gallium and cesium, they are solids, but their melting point is just below 30 degrees Celsius. So when we keep them on our palm, which has the temperature of 37 degrees Celsius, they change into liquid. Nonmetals have low melting and boiling points except carbon and boron. Metals are sonorous. That is the reason that our school bells and the bells in the temples, they are made up of metals. Non-metals are non-sonorous. Metals have high density and high tensile strength, and non-metals have low density and low tensile strength. All metals are solids except one, mercury, which is found in the liquid state. And nonmetals can either be solids or gases except one nonmetal, bromine, which is a liquid. With the help of this activity which is given in the book, we will prove that metals are good conductors of heat. Out of all the metals, silver is the best conductor and lead is the poorest conductor of heat. So for this activity, we will take an iron stand and clamp a copper wire on it. On the edge of this copper wire, we will fix a pin using some wax. Start heating this copper wire from other end with the help of a Bunsen burner. After some time we will observe that the pin falls down. Now why the pin has fallen down? Because the wax melts, and wax melts because heat has travelled from this point where we are heating this wire to the edge of the wire where we have fixed the pin. So this activity clearly shows that through metals heat can pass easily, means they are good conductors of heat. There is another activity which shows that metals are good conductors of electricity and non-metals are bad conductor of electricity. So it involves a simple apparatus consisting of a battery, a bulb, a switch, two clips A and B and a few wires. Now in between these two clips we will insert the sample. Let's say first we will insert a piece of copper or iron or aluminium in between the clips and we will find that bulb starts glowing, which shows that they are able to conduct the electricity and are good conductors. Now if we replace these metals with a non-metal like carbon or sulfur or any other non-metal, we will find that bulb does not glow. It clearly shows that non-metals are bad conductors of electricity. Silver is the best conductor of electricity, but still we do not use it for making wires. The reason is that before selecting a metal for making wires, we need to consider many points. So we use copper or aluminium for making wires because of these reasons. They are good conductors, they are highly ductile, have high melting point, they are cheap and affordable, and they do not corrode. Now, wires are good conductors and we can easily get electrocuted from them. So, all the electric wires are covered with some insulator like PVC. PVC is polyvinyl chloride and it is used to cover electric wires. They protect us from the electric shock.